Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to the Funky Marketing podcast or this live stream when we'll talk about some of the things that are on top of my head and kind of getting on my nerves. And so it's nice to see you all. It's nice to be back. I'm just back from vacation. It was kind of a mixture of vacation. So, like, I spent a few days on a festival in Zagreb, listening to the National, my favorite band, but also like some other bands like Röyksopp, um, and a few more Viagra Boys, and some others. And then I took some time to go to Rovinj. They call it like the Venice of Croatian Venice, right? So I went over there to kind of just chill on the beach, walk around the narrow streets, and have fun and recharge my batteries. I didn't do that, kind of just a little bit, but nevertheless, I'm here and it's time to go over some of the things. And I want to use this live stream, this episode, to kind of announce a couple of things that I will do with these live streams or with this podcast, but also to talk about some of the things that are kind of getting on my nerves and kind of bothering me. And this will also be sort of like a QA. So in case you have any question or anything, really feel free to drop questions in the chat, and I'm here to answer. So I'm just gonna add a layer here. So Q&A, send your questions in the chat if you have them regarding really anything. So I have here like a half an hour, and I'll try to answer every single question that you have, in case you have any. Right. So hello to everybody just coming in. You might see me in the feed. You might have heard the podcast, but this is maybe the first time that you're seeing me in person. So hello, my name is Nemanja. I'm the founder of Funky Marketing and the host of the Funky Marketing podcast. And today I want to give you some new things that I will do with the podcast. So kind of like a history. I started this Funky Marketing podcast back in 2020 when I started Funky Marketing, actually the company. And I used the first like 10, 15 episodes to kind of get the authority in the space on the podcast, talk with them and see what's their background, what's their expertise, and can I actually, do B2B marketing, because my background was in B2C marketing. And I found out that I have even more experience than some of them, and I can talk on the same level with them. So then the next episodes became just like a discussion on the same level, and this is what got me the authority, reputation. I got to know a lot of people. We recorded around specifically 196 episodes so far. And what's interesting is that I made a lot of friends just by recording this podcast. And it was my entry into the US market as somebody who's coming from Serbia and knows what he's doing, but other people don't know. They don't know me, like from somebody who is living in the US. A guy from Serbia doesn't maybe seem, trustful. So I was able to create trust as well, and got a lot of people refer me to the companies that I'm working with at the moment. And from working to startups, I moved to working with mid-sized companies or maybe enterprise level companies. And some of the things that's been interesting is that I work with this year mostly on the companies who are established brands in the B2C, so enterprise level clients. Moving slowly into the B2B, they created a B2B product, and now they need to create the awareness about the product itself, and that they are also B2B company, not only B2C company, and sort of like create a brand on that side. This is where my sweet spot, because I'm coming from B2C background. I can see the big picture. I can see how all the pieces of the puzzle are coming together, and I can help them with all that. So this is what I've been doing, and also some other stuff as I've been working a lot with the companies who are not in tech space. So some of the industries that I've been working with are moving space, so working with moving companies on the US market, and kind of help them in all kind of ways. Actually, we help them rebuild their website to fit the needs of their customers. We help them with advertising. So now it's the season, so they want to convert as many leads as possible, but also working on the SEO side when long term we want to make an SEO powerful source of leads also for them, and create the establish the authority as the companies are working with. They want to be number one players in that space in the US. If you are there, you know how hard it is and how many competitors they have. But we are pushing through. But also outside of that, I'm working with a few real estate companies here on Serbian market, and actually it's the first time in my life that I'm doing doing advertising for them, and actually helping them close, sell a lot of luxury, mostly apartments. And what's interesting is that the company, CEO of the company came to me recently and says, we don't actually know what we are doing, because in this stage of development, when we didn't build the apartments yet, we sold everything that we had at this moment in campaign, and now we don't know what we're doing. We were never in that situation. So I got a lot of success in different fields in different industries, because tech is interesting, but seems like, and this is also what I want to talk with you about before I get into what I'm doing with the podcast. So it seems like in tech, in SaaS especially, there's a lot of ego involved, and it seems like companies think because they don't know technology that they know marketing, right? They know social media, they know how it works, but they still don't talk to their customers, and they have no idea how the buyer's journey has changed in the last couple of years, and how like the role of social media, of small communities, of who we know and trust and who we have a relationship with has changed all of these things. So and I recently changed the headline of my LinkedIn profile to say exactly as it is. This is how I define what marketing does in B2B companies, right? Marketing and I on the same level help mid-size, high ACV and long sales cycles B2B companies win by facilitating sale and showing their unique advantage. We facilitate the sale, meaning as a lot of companies have similar products or services, like the customer experience becomes the number one thing that differentiates you. But also, I like to say that I don't just, go from strategic level. 'Cause I usually like to say about myself that I'm a strategist, but I'm also a marketer who has been employed and who has been doing an hands-on and overview of every single position in marketing before this moment. So I bring on hands-on marketing that bring tangible results, right? Sometimes the company has a team, and I like more when the company has a team and I can work with them. Sometimes they don't, and I'm in charge of doing all the things. So, and on top of all that, I'm bringing kind of the funk, like the company is called Funky Marketing, as well as the podcast. So I like to say that I do everything with a little bit of funk. Funk is the funk music, and this is why I named the company Funky Marketing. So funk is the groove that makes you want to move. And when I look at that from the marketing perspective, basically it means not just make yourself visible to the customers, but activating them, and make them want to move and come to you. So you want your ideal customers to come to you, and you don't want to end up standing alone in the corner of the room while everybody else is dancing, right? Interacting and working with their ideal customers. So this is what I want to tell you, and this is what I want you to understand about all these things. But also, there is one thing there is bothering me, and we will talk about this right now. And it is that I see a lot of narratives here on LinkedIn and overall in B2B about all different kind of people. Like, the way we buy has changed, right? But, I see a lot of people having their own narratives. So like, do we actually create demand or we don't create demand? Or, I was one of the people that were saying that we create demand just so I can, explain it more easier to the customers, because there are new people coming to the B2B space and they don't understand what awareness means, what brand means, what is that. So it's easier to say on one side for the customers who are not in the market, we create demand, or those who are in the market, we close the demand, right? It's much easier. Of course, I'm aware that we cannot create demand. And I want to say about that's another narrative that comes in. Or the only thing that those people do, they go over the people who say we create demand, and they say, no, we don't create demand. Of course, we don't create demand, right? The company itself need to understand all of these things, understand that they have a problem, and go and try to find the solution. And when that moment comes, we need to be on top of mind, or at least we need to end up in the short list, so that we are considered as the solution for all this. So in that way, uh, you know, we can say that we create demand, or we create the awareness, or we create the brand, whatever it is. Those that's just the languaging, nothing nothing else, right? So from that perspective, think about the core things. Don't tie yourself to the languaging and how do we name things, right? Also, there is a thing that B2B change, marketing change. We have now marketing, we have growth, we have sales, we have all kind of different things, and it all creates like these silos inside the companies. So that's not what it is. Growth is just marketing. It's just good marketing, and that's what I want to talk with you about today. Before I tell you what's going to happen with the podcast. So remember 4 P's or even 6 P's. I don't know if you remember that, but that's the foundation of marketing. If you didn't study marketing, then you probably don't know what those things means, and maybe some of the things, or you consider marketing as advertising, which is totally out of the place. It's just one single small piece of what marketing actually does. So let me go and elaborate and tell you what are the 6 P's of marketing and how each can help you get more sales, because that's what we are all after, right? So there's a product. First P is the product. The product is what is being sold, what we are actually selling. We are fulfilling a market opportunity with a timely product that meets customers' needs. And help boost sales. If we have what they want, they will buy as easy as possible. So we need to have the right product. That's number one. Number two is actually price. The price is the cost of the customer, the cost the customer pays to acquire an effective pricing strategy, and ensures that the customers are willing to buy the product, which actually generates sales for the company, right? The second one is actually the price, but the price needs to be determined not how you look at what you want to charge, but you need to look at it from the customer's perspective. So the third P is promotion, right? It includes all the tactics used to communicate the product's value. You need to communicate the value so your target audience can know what the value actually is. The goal of promotion is to attract customers' attention and foster interest in learning more about and eventually buying, right, the product. So that's number three. Number four, actually, we have place. The place is where customers can buy the product, whether brick and mortar store, website, an app today, a proper placement of products creates sales opportunities. We have number five, which is actually people, the people that are individuals involved in the marketing process of both sides of an exchange. So those who are selling and those who are buying, employees, for example, salespeople, customer service representatives, they influence how customers view a business or a product, and customers provide feedback so you can improve the product. And this interaction is between internal and external people, and it helps determine the success. So exactly what I said now, customer experience is what separates you from the others, and actually makes you helps you improve your product. And we have the presentation as number six, is basically how the products appear in the market. Customers' opinion on how a product is presented, for example, like through packaging or messaging, or how does your website look, how your your posts on LinkedIn look. All those things influence the buying decision. So, and here is where we need to draw a line. So traditional four P's of marketing: product, price, place, and promotion, they have their originals back. Listen to me now. In 1950s, in 1950s is the origins of these things. What's the year now? So it's like 74 years ago, four P's of marketing came along. And additional two P's of marketing actually came a little bit later with digitalization and digital transformation. So right, we added people and we added promotion. And if we want to sum it up and say what marketing actually does, so it's a lot more than what we call growth or what we call sales. So it creates a desirable product or the service that offers value. It sells the product or service at a price that is attractive to the customers. It determines the best place to sell the product or service. It optimizes the success of attention-grabbing promotion. It identifies the right people to improve your marketing success. And it attracts customers by creating a visually appealing presentation. So, and if we go back and look at what I said, what I do, I work with companies with long sales cycles and high ACVs, and so annual contract values. So it's hard to sell to those companies, right? They buy once in in a blue moon, and and what you sell is expensive, so it's kind of so. Long sales cycles, they determine an ecosystem today. They determine a holistic approach, not just you run the ads and you close them. So that's not what you do, and that's not the great thing to do. Sure, you can start with that, but it's not everything you do. You need to have organic, you need to have social, you need to have advertising, of course, you need to have referrals, partnerships, you need to have events. So a lot of things comes into that. These days, you need to also have like influencer programs, all depending what you are selling. So for sustainable success, you need to create relationships with those people. Remember, you're selling to a group of people who all have jobs to do, and you need to make them aware of how you want to sell. You need to help them do a better job. So how what you sell help them do a better job. Plus, why would they actually choose you over some other options? With all that, you need to know that most of the times they don't have a dedicated budget for you, right? So they need to come up with a budget. And so you need to influence the decision making from the top of the company, so they realize, we need to make space and create a budget for this thing. It will help us be better at this and this, right? And most decisions in those B2B companies end up in making a no decision. no decision. It's much easier, and it brings less harm than choosing the wrong vendor, buying the wrong product, buying the wrong service. If you don't do anything, okay. So 'cause everybody in those organizations are protecting their assets. The fear of buying the wrong things is bigger than solving a problem. So you need to eliminate that fear. You need to create trust from that standpoint. And there's a lot of politics inside those companies. So you need to think from their perspective and how people behave in those companies. This is why you need to talk to the customers. So marketing, market research, and customer research are the things that you need to do, regularly, not just once, but regularly, and talk to your customers so you can get the feedback. You can know who they are following, who they trust, how would they sell your product, how would they go to look on Google, what would they type in, and a lot of these things. So this is what marketing does, and this is what I do. So there is one thing that I will talk now about, how the Funky Marketing podcast will change and what I will do on LinkedIn. So while I do that, I'm open again for the questions. If you have them, feel free to drop them the line. Kyle, thanks for this. The growth that makes you want to move. It's good, but it actually doesn't mean anything. It's just cute and nice to hear, right? So I do have it here and there, but that's the core of the things. We need another, to improve my about section. So maybe I'll add that over there. So thanks for suggesting that. And now let's move. So as I said, next week I'm kicking off the Funky Marketing podcast. Again, I made a break since I think end of March, as I had I was first tired. Then I had pneumonia for a month and a half. I didn't actually work anything, not even recording the podcast or anything. And then I went to vacation to kind of slowly started getting in shape, because I had the approval that I can actually swim. So now I'm back, and the podcast is coming on. So it's gonna be like we recorded 196 episodes so far of the podcast. A lot of people don't know it, so one of the things that I will do is include the summed up episodes, the overview of the episodes inside the newsletter. But so the new thing is that I don't want to focus only on SaaS and tech companies. I want to focus on B2B in general and have some guests that have already been there, that have won, created strategies, but also have a hands-on experience. And I want them to come and share everything that they do, and we can have a discussion going back and forth and talk about all these things. So then we go back to what will be the format. It will still be me and the guest, or me alone, just like this episode. And I plan to do a lot more alone episodes. I'm working on like empowering a studio here in the office, so we'll have another lighting, we'll have another interesting stuff coming in the next weeks or months or something like that. We'll see. It's the summer, so I don't know how fast I'll be able to do it, but it's coming, and I'm gonna have one event scheduled each week. So one podcast episode as an event, as I usually stream the recording of the podcast. And I will have a chance to invite my ideal customers to the event, so we actually have the audience before it, not just like I'm doing now, just start the stream. So we're going to have the proper events for each episode once a week, and that will be one type of the content that I will produce. I'm negotiating with a couple of companies, so we will possibly have some sponsors on the podcast this season, which is new. It took me around like 4 years to get there, and a lot of interesting programs and stuff are coming in. So if you have any suggestions or if you have anything you would like me to cover, please go ahead and just suggest in the comments. Also, I don't know if you noticed or if you are a subscriber, I started the LinkedIn newsletter a few weeks ago, actually like 5 weeks ago. And what's interesting is that it works nicely, and I have a lot of things I can cover, and I cover a lot of things. So in 5 weeks, I got like nine 9,850 something newsletter subscribers. It's going really well, and I want to invite you to listen to it. So that will be another type of the content that I will focus on. I will try to promote the best episode from the podcast inside the newsletter. So I want to merge the two. That's what I always do. Distribute forever, create once, distribute forever. And I will try to give you some actionable tips of what you can do in the newsletter, but also connect you with the right people, with the people that I have relationships with, so you can have relationships with them too. Because remember, LinkedIn's mission is to connect the world's professionals and make them more productive and successful. So this is exactly what I do, and this is what you need to do to actually be successful on the platform. So those are kind of the new things. The third new thing is, as I'm coming up with a studio and those kind of things, I will create more short video form content, like vertical videos, because LinkedIn now has the special feed, which is only filled with videos, just like TikTok and Reels on Instagram are. And I will try to be there and share really specific videos with specific tips that you can use. So you can expect a lot more video content, and I'm definitely sharing around things. So that will be also the thing, because I'm not the fan of taking. I see a lot of people do that as well. Like, nobody actually comes up with the new stuff. They just rename the old stuff and say, hey, that's now my framework. Here you can use it. But I like to say, instead of how to, I like to go into how and explain everything from my personal experience, and coming up with the stories to explain things, because I think that's the future and that's what differentiates me, right? So that's it. That's all that I had to say about what I will do with the podcast and what's coming up. If you want to be a guest, feel free to reach out to me. I'm open to having different people. I usually like to record things with people that I know, but I'm always open to try something new. And also, like, I want to be guest on other people's podcast and invest time in that, especially now during the summer. So if you know anybody that should host me, I'm ready to share a lot of stuff. Everything is in my head, a lot of things, a lot of experience with different kind of things, different kind of stuff, and I'm ready to share all of it. So connect me with those people, and I'll make sure to deliver. Yeah, and as far as everything else goes, so one thing that I want to end up with is that it's almost mid of the day, so noon. My wife is still on vacation today, even though I had to work a little bit, and I will end up this episode by telling you that I'm coming out of the office as I finish this, and I'm going to the Danube River beach to enjoy myself, to get a little bit more tan that I got than the one I got on the sea. And I wish you all the best. Enjoy the weekend. Let me know what you think about all this upcoming stuff, about all these things, narrative that are getting on my nerves, and let me know if I can help you in any way that I can. Keep it funky, guys. Cheers, and see you next week in an episode. I will tell you that we have a guest which is really good. We're going to talk about things as advertising on a podcast, creating a community, and what can you do around the podcast to kind of increase the value of it. So the event is possibly coming today or tomorrow. You will see it. Hopefully, you will join us and see you in the feed. And make sure to listen to the podcast. Give it a review on Apple Podcasts, please. We didn't have for a year, I think, the chance to get reviews on the podcast. As I'm from Serbia. Now we have, and I will be grateful if you go out there and give a review of the podcast. Maybe tell which is your best episodes, or anything else. The way I help you, or whatever it is. And that's it, guys. I'm going to the beach. Enjoy the weekend, as I know I will enjoy it. Bye bye. Keep it funky.